So you want to know about VOM technology. People want to know about how it affects their practices. Today, we're speaking with Dr. Scott Bradley from the city where what stays in Vegas stays in Vegas.
What happens in Vegas?
What happens in Vegas stays
in Vegas.
Stays in Vegas. We want to know what's happening in your practice, though. So you have been practicing VOM technology for how many years?
Trying to figure that. I think I started about 15, 18 years ago.
Okay, and you are primarily a small animal practice?
Yes.
But do you have any equine patients that you would deal with?
Well, yes. My wife and I have a couple of thoroughbreds that we try and keep in adjustment and happy and rideable. And I also, as part of that, I go on. I've been blessed to be able to go on a trail ride to Catalina Island for the past 30 years. And I've used that a number of times for lame and colicky horses out in the middle of nowhere where there's nothing really else that you can do, and have had some amazing results. So
you're happy that the technology works not just for dogs and cats,
right,
but other species, particularly equine, and obviously there are a lot of performance horses out there. So when you first learned about VOM technology, did you rush back to your practice and treat every animal, and what was your approach on that?
That's an interesting question. I attended a VOM seminar on a whim. I wondered, I know chiropractic worked on me and did wonders for my migraines, and couldn't figure out why we couldn't use similar type applications for our patients, and ran across a mailer that said, hey, there's going to be a one-day seminar in Las Vegas. I said, yeah, I'll go check it out. I was just thinking back, I was so impressed with what I found about how it works and why it works that I called my wife, who's my partner, veterinarian, that was working at the office that day, and said, you need to come tomorrow, because it was two one-day seminars, and she went the next day, so that was a Saturday, Sunday. We started adjusting our patients on Monday and haven't looked back. We adjust until I have no idea how many patients we've applied VOM to over the years, but amazing results.
So when you got into that, were you getting into that because you were finding you were seeing a lot of patients that there weren't answers for?
Absolutely.
So you were looking for something else. My gosh, we just have to help them somehow. There must be something out there.
Absolutely.
So you started adjusting from the Monday afterwards, after the seminar, and we all do have to look at money. Was this something that you felt was a good investment for the practice, or were you doing it primarily on your emotions that I can think of this patient might need it, and then I can go and do that, so that you were actually thinking of patients first and then the money followed?
I didn't even think about the money because the investment was pretty minimal. I mean, it was, I spend that going to dinner, taking my kids out to dinner sometimes. Yeah, I'm sure we recoup the cost of the VOM equipment within, the first week. It's virtually maintenance free. I think we've bought 3 adjusters in all that time. So, very minimal investment, massive return on investment from a financial standpoint, but even a greater return on investment with respect to the number of patients that we've been able to help and make them healthier. And that's just been just extremely rewarding for myself and my staff. It's wonderful. We've got 4 veterinarians in our practice, and all 4 of us are VOM trained, and pretty much there's not anybody else. There's one other doctor in our area that is VOM trained, and I think he's quite successful at it too. But it's kind of neat because people come to us for that. They tell their friends and say, hey, there's something else out there that's available. And so it's been a real blessing for for us for our practice.
So it's not something that someone has to take the course and then they're the only ones that can do this. You've been able to get your staff members and other associate veterinarians trained as well, because otherwise you're going to be doing everything, right?
Right. Well, not only will I be doing everything, is it the other side, the more important aspect is they won't be offering that if they don't know how to do it. So the fact that they're all trained and can apply this makes a huge difference in how we approach all of our medicine cases and quite a few of our surgery cases too benefit from these applications. So it's wonderful.
So you're using it as a rehab after conventional medicine, is that right?
We use it instead of conventional medicine. We use it with conventional medicine. We use it after surgery. Yes, whatever. It has so many different applications. I mean, improving nerve connections and blood flow to damaged tissues, there's not a downside to that. And this is one of the tools that can be used very effectively to improve that.
So final question. Can you imagine your life without VOM?
No.
No. Thank you so much.